I am going to teach you the story A Scandal in Bohemia 1. And the creator of the story is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The story is about a case which was solved by Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes was a very famous detective, and the entire story is of course a detective story. So, the background of the story is, one day Sherlock Holmes, he sat with his companion Dr. Watson, and they both had a conversation. And suddenly a stranger came and he represented himself as a client of a rich person. But Holmes had a tremendous mind. He was a great observer, and he observed the person and revealed his identity, that he was not a client of anyone, rather he was the king of Bohemia. So then the person expressed his problem in front of Holmes. He said once he was acquainted with adventurous Irene Adler, and they spent few moments with each other, but then they departed from each other. But now the king of Bohemia wanted to get everything, whatever he had given to Irene Adler. And when he said this to Irene Adler, she refused. She said she wouldn't give anything to him. And that was a great problem for the king of Bohemia, because he had a great prestige of his family. And he said to Holmes that he actually committed someone else. He said to Holmes that he had the problem with Irene Adler because she refused to give the pictures what she had, and the pictures were of the king and Irene Adler. He was afraid of that on the day of his betrothal, Irene Adler would come and would create such scenes which would not be good with his family. So he wanted to keep his prestige safe, and for that reason he wanted to get back everything, whatever he had given to Irene Adler from her. And even he tried a lot before coming to Holmes. He tried a lot to get everything from Irene Adler, but every time he failed. Now he wanted everything from her with the help of Sherlock Holmes. And after listening everything from him, Holmes said that he would try his best. And then he started his investigation, and then finally he gave the result to the king. So in this story, the four major characters are Sherlock Holmes, his friend Dr. Watson, and the king of Bohemia, and Irene Adler. So now we will start the story. So first I want to tell that Dr. Watson is the speaker of the story from the first. He only starts. So the story starts now. To Sherlock Holmes, she is always a woman. I have seldom heard him mention her under any other name. I had seen little of Holmes since my marriage. On the night of the 20th of March, 1888, I was returning from a patient when my way led me through Baker Street. I was seized with a keen desire to Holmes again. I rang the bell and was shown out. He was glad, I think, to see me. He looked me over. I think, Watson, that you have put on 7.5 pounds since I saw you, and in practice again, I observe. How do you know? I see it, I deduce it. How do I know that you have been getting yourself very weak lately? My dear Holmes, said I, it is true that I came home yesterday in a dreadful mess, but as I have changed my clothes, I can't imagine how you deduce it. My eyes tell me that on the inside of your left shoe, the leather is scored by 6 almost parallel cuts. Obviously, they have been caused by carelessly scraping in order to remove crusted mud from the sole. Hence my deduction that you had been out in vile weather. As if a gentleman walks in smelling of idioform with a bulge on the right side of his top hat to show where he has put away his stethoscope. I must pronounce him to be a practicing doctor. So when Watson came to meet Holmes, Holmes easily said him that he was a practicing doctor, and of course he had come from his own war. Actually, Watson didn't mention anything, but as I said before that Holmes had a brilliant mind and he was a great observer. So when he observed Watson top to bottom, he could easily tell him where he had been. With the appearance of Watson, that was very clear to Holmes. When you gave your reasons, I remarked, the thing appears to be so ridiculously simple that I could easily do it myself. Watson said to Holmes that what others could not guess, but Holmes said all those things very easily, and after listening all such reasons, it seemed so simple, but that was not simple for the others, but it was simple for Holmes. So from here we can understand what a strong brain and also a strong guessing power Holmes had. Quite so, he answered. You see, but you do not observe. By the way, you may be interested in this. He threw over a sheet of thick pen-tinted notepaper. The note was undated and without either signature or address. So then Holmes showed a paper to Watson, but there was no signature, no address, and even no date was mentioned. There will call upon you tonight. At 7:45 it said, a gentleman who desires to consult you upon a matter of the very deepest moment, be in your chamber then at that hour, and do not take it amiss if your visitor wear a mask. I carefully examined the writing and the paper upon which it was written. The man who wrote it was presumably well-to-do, I remarked, endeavouring to imitate my companion's processes. Such a paper could not be bought under a half a crown a packet. It is peculiarly strong and stiff. So when Watson started examining the paper, he found that the paper was not so easily available. Means the paper was not so common, and it was very strong, and even the quality of the paper was totally different. That was not available in England. And even the paper could not be bought with the 25 pence, means according to the British pound. It is not an English paper at all, said Holmes. Hold it up to the light. And Holmes also replied that the paper was not an English paper, means the paper was from somewhere else. I did so and saw a large E with small g and a P and a large G with a small t woven into the texture of the paper. The GT stands for Gesellschaft, which is a German for company. P of course stands for Papier. Now for the EG, let us utter Continental Gazetteer. Gazetteer means a geographical directory from where you can get the information of all other countries. So then both of them started guessing the form of EG. Eglo, Eglonitz, here we are, Egria in Bohemia. The paper was made in Bohemia, I said. Precisely, the man who wrote the note is a German. Do you note the peculiar construction of sentences? As he spoke, there was a sharp pull at the bell. I think I had better go, Holmes. So Watson, when he heard the bell, he wanted to go. But Holmes stopped him. Not a bit, doctor, stay where you are. There was a loud and authoritative tap at the door. Come in, said Holmes. A man entered who could hardly have been less than 6 feet 6 inches in height. His dress was rich. So the person who knocked the bell, who came here, he was 6 feet 6 inches. And with his appearance, Holmes guessed that he was a rich person. He wore a black visored mask. Visored mask, which was a kind of mask with which you can hide your face. So the person, he hid his face with the mask, extending down past the cheekbones. He looked from one to the other of us as if uncertain which to address. So he looked here and there and he could not understand whom he should address because Holmes and Watson, both of them were there. Pray take a seat, said Holmes. Holmes said him to take seat. This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. Whom have I the honor to address? So Holmes introduced Watson as his friend and colleague, and then he wanted to know the identity of the person who came at that time. You may address me as the Count von Kramm, a Bohemian nobleman. So he introduced himself as a Bohemian nobleman and he said his name Count von Kramm. You will excuse this mask. The august person who employs me wishes every precaution to be taken to quench an immense scandal that might compromise the great house of Ormstead. So he said that Holmes should excuse his appearance as he wore a mask. If your majesty would concede to state your case, I should be better able to advise you, murmured Holmes. With a gesture of displeasure, the man tore the mask from his face. You are right, he cried. I am the king. Why should I attempt to conceal it? So Holmes easily observed the person and said that he was not a nobleman and even he was the king of Bohemia. And then he said that of course he should not hide his identity. Your Majesty had not spoken before I was aware that I was addressing Wilhelm Goswey, 6-month von Ormstein, hereditary king of Bohemia. So he was the king of Bohemia and now he revealed his identity. So he came to Holmes for his problems, whatever he had at that time. And he expected to get rid of all such kind of burdens and he requested Holmes to get everything, whatever he wanted. I am not accustomed to doing such business, but the matter was so delicate that I could not confide it to an agent. The facts are briefly this. Some 5 years ago, I made the acquaintance of the well-known adventurous Irene Adler. So the king said that was not used to handle such kind of things and even at that time he did not want to send anyone else to Holmes for this problem because it was related to the prestige and honor of his family. As he was the king, so he had an honor and of course he didn't want to harm the prestige of his family at any cost. So he came directly to meet Holmes. So then he explained his story that why he was in problem and what kind of problems were there. So he said about Irene Adler, adventurous Irene Adler. Irene Adler was a desperate lady. Your Majesty wrote her some compromising letters and is now desirous of getting those letters back. So he said that before 5 years he met Irene Adler and then he spent a few moments with her, rather few days, and he wrote few letters to her. The letters which are so important for him. Precisely so, but how? Was there a secret marriage? Actually, before taking any cases, Holmes wanted to know all the information related to the case so that he could get the result easily. So he had to know everything, all the small informations or even anything related to the case. So he asked the king whether there was any secret marriage. He said, none. No legal papers or certificates? None. Then I fail to follow your Majesty. If this young person should produce her letters for blackmailing or other purposes, how is she to prove their authenticity? There is the writing. So Holmes said that whether there was no marriage, means any secret marriage. So the king replied no. So when he was confirmed there was no secret marriage between the king and Irene Adler, and even no legal papers of the relation between the king and the lady. So of course there was no chance. There was no chance there was no chance for any problem. Of course there was no even trace of the relation between them. There is writing, the king mentioned, means the letters which he wrote to Irene Adler, his handwritings. Forgery. So means forgery means cheating. One kind of, if a person cheats anyone. So they say no, means with a great hatred. He said there was a chance of cheating him with the letters which he had written to Irene Adler. My private notepaper. He wrote the letters on his private notepaper. So of course that was a great proof to show. Irene Adler could easily show the notepapers, which was the private notepapers of the king. It was very simple for her to prove that she had once a relation with the king. Stolen. My private notepaper stolen, my own seal imitated. My photograph bought, we were both in the photograph. Then your majesty has indeed committed an indiscretion. It must be recovered. So then the king explained that he could not say that there was a secret marriage, even there was no proof of any legal papers, but the note papers, his personal note papers were stolen, and even his own seal that was also imitated, and his photographs, the photographs were bought. And in the photographs, he could be seen with Irene Adler. So that was a strong proof. And Holmes replied to him, then your majesty has indeed committed an indiscretion and it must be discovered. So he had taken this very seriously. We have tried and failed. So Holmes wanted to know whether the king tried or not to get back all those things from Irene Adler. So he replied, yes, he tried. Your majesty must be bought. She will not say. So how he tried? He tried his best. He said her to sell the papers, but she replied that she would not sell the papers at all. Stealing them, Holmes said him to steal the papers from him. But he replied, even there was no chance of stealing the papers. How? 5 attempts have been made. It means he tried for 5 times to steal the paper from the lady. Twice burglars in my pay ransacked her house. So, for 2 times the thieves, they tried to take the papers from her house. Once we diverted her luggage when she travelled. So once they even changed the luggage when she travelled. That attempt was also not successful. Twice she has been waylaid. There has been no result. So the king tried a lot to recover his belongings from Irene Adler, but every time he failed. No sign of it? Absolutely none. Holmes laughed. It is quite a pretty little problem, said he. So Holmes was very sure that it's quite a pretty little problem, means there was nothing, very easy for him. But a very serious one to me, returned the king reproachfully. So the king said it was very little thing for Holmes, even it was nothing for him, but it was a great problem for the king because it was related to the prestige and honor of his family. He was the king of Bohemia. So if he had to face any scandal related to any lady, that would be so harmful for him. And even he had to secure the prestige of his family. So it was a great problem for him. Very indeed. And what does she propose to do with it? So then Holmes wanted to know that what the lady wanted to do with the papers. So Holmes wanted to know that why Irene Adler had kept all the things with her, what she had taken from the king of Bohemia. So he said, very indeed, means he said to the king that what he has said that it was so important for him to get back all the things from Irene Adler. So he said, yes, indeed, it was important. And what does she propose to do with it? I am about to be married. A shadow of a doubt as to my conduct would bring the matter to an end. And Irene Adler? Holmes asked once again, threatens to send the photograph on the day when the betrothal is publicly proclaimed. That will be next Monday. So now Holmes got his answer. He asked the king that why Irene Adler had kept the photographs and the notepapers and the imitated seal and even the letters what he had written to her, why she needed. So then the king replied that his betrothal is on next Monday. Betrothal means it's a formal agreement to marry somebody. So it means once he had a relation with Irene Adler and now he's going to marry someone else. So probably Irene Adler would take revenge. And on the day of his betrothal, probably she would come and show all the proofs in front of everyone just to insult him, and that would be a great problem for him. Threatens to send the photograph, and even he got the threatens to send the photographs on the day of his betrothal. So when he mentioned the next Monday is his betrothal, so it means Holmes had the time only up to the next Monday. Before that, he had to hand over everything to the king of Bohemia. Oh, then we have 3 days yet, said Holmes. Your Majesty will of course stay in London for the present. You will find me at the Langham under the name of Count von Kramm. So Holmes already understood that he had time only up to next Monday. It means 3 days. So within 3 days he had to collect everything, means the photographs, the seal, the note papers, everything from Irene Adler, and then he had to hand over all those things to the king of Bohemia. And when he asked the king that where he would wait for him, so the king replied that Holmes would find him at the Langham under the name of Count von Kramm. The king laid a heavy leather bag on the table. There are 300 pounds in gold and 700 in notes for current expenses, he said. And Mademoiselle's address? Holmes asked. Is Briary Lodge, Serpentine Avenue, St. John's Wood. So what was the amount which the king offered Sherlock Holmes to get back all the things from Irene Adler? The amount was 300 pounds in gold and 700 in notes for current expenses, means just for that debt. Means the current expenses means if Holmes had to spend anything to get back all those things from her. And when he asked the address, and the address is Briary Lodge, Serpentine Avenue, St. John's Wood. One other question, said Holmes. Was the photograph a cabinet? Cabinet means it's kind of old photograph size. So he wanted to know the quality or the size or the shape of the photograph. What type of photographs Irene Adler had? It was. So the king replied, it was means the photographs were the cabinet. Cabinet means the old photograph size. Then, good night, Your Majesty, and I trust that we shall soon have some good news for you. So then he said that he would of course bring all those things from Irene Adler, and then he would hand over all those things to the king of Bohemia. So he actually said him to be quiet, means there was no problem even. Watson, he said once the king left, if you will be good enough to call tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock, I should like to chat this little matter over with you. So then the king left, and Holmes said to Watson, means his companion, that he would have a conversation with him regarding this matter the next day. So here the story ends. And now we will discuss the question answers of the story. So the first question, what were Sherlock's observations about Watson? How did he prove his point? So what was the observation? Already we have read that Watson appeared in front of Holmes, and then seeing him, Holmes guessed everything, means how he dressed up and what he wore at that time, and even the scars from his sole of the shoes. Seeing all those things, he already said that Watson came from where, and that was the observations of Sherlock. And he proved with his power that when he said everything about Watson. Discuss the content of the note that Holmes had received. So the note was written in different alphabets, and they saw the alphabets and guessed the content of the note. And even first they examined the quality of the paper, and then they took some help from the other sources, and then they understood the content of the note. What conclusion did Watson and Holmes arrive at after close scrutiny of the note? So when they saw the paper very carefully, so they found the alphabets and the names of the places. So what, after close scrutiny, what they had guessed? They guessed about the place from where it came from. Next, describe Holmes' visitor. Why was he wearing a mask? So Holmes' visitor, we have already read that he was a stranger and his height was 6 feet 6 inches, and he wore a black visored mask. And why he was wearing a mask? Because he wanted to hide his own identity. That is why he didn't want to show his face. When did the man take off his mask? When he gave his identity in front of Holmes, Holmes easily observed him and he said the original identity of the person. And then the person opened his mask and said that he should not be ashamed of anything because he had come for his own case. So why he would hide himself? So that is the answer of this question. Means when Holmes already understood the identity of the person, he took off his mask. What do we learn about Irene Adler? Of course, the king addressed Irene Adler as adventurous, means she was a very desperate lady, and how he collected his notepapers, his seal and photographs and all, and how she kept all such things for a long time, and even how king failed to rescue all his belongings from Irene Adler is very clear that a very desperate lady she was. And the king also guessed that on the day of betrothal she would come and place all such proofs in front of everyone to take revenge. So from here also we can understand that she was a very desperate lady. What steps had been taken by the king to get the photograph back from Irene Adler. So the king already mentioned that how he tried for the long time to get the papers back from Irene Adler. So here you can see the previous page that 5 attempts have been made. Twice burglars in my pay ransacked her house. Once we diverted her luggage when she travelled. Twice she has been waylaid. There has been no result. So it means the king already tried for several times, and there were the proofs that twice burglars and with his pay ransacked her house, and even luggages were diverted while she was travelling, and even twice she had been waylaid. So these were the attempts which were made by the king to get back his things from Irene Adler. Why was it imperative for the king to retrieve the photograph? So of course it was so important for the king to get back all the photographs from Irene Adler because he loved his prestige, his family prestige. He was the king of Bohemia. So he had to keep secure his prestige. That's why he wanted to get everything from Irene Adler because it was so important for him to keep his image safe. Next, answer these questions with reference to the context. When you give your reasons, I replied, the thing appears to be so ridiculously simple that I could easily do it myself. So first we have to mention that from where the lines have been taken, and even the name of the chapter and also the name of the writer, name of the author. So who says this to whom? Of course, Dr. Watson says this to Holmes. What is the immediate context of this statement? Means when Holmes observed something, so it became so simple that means the reasons what he explained, these were so simple to the Watson. Not only Watson, to everyone. What does this tell us about the person spoken to? So Holmes described the appearance of the person. Means at that time Sherlock Holmes, he described the appearance of Watson when he came to meet him. And then he explained everything, how he guessed it, and then Holmes also said that to see from top to bottom, he guessed everything about Watson. So then Watson replied that the things became so simple when Holmes observed. Next, if your Majesty would consent to state your case, I should be better able to advise you, murmured Holmes. So whom did Holmes address as Your Majesty? Of course, the king. And why was the person visiting Holmes? Because he wanted to get his things which he had given to Irene Adler. And what happens immediately after? Then he expressed everything, what had happened to him and how he tried, and then Holmes asked the several questions from the king. And then he said that he wanted to get back his belongings from Irene. Then Your Majesty has indeed, number 3, then Your Majesty has indeed committed an indiscretion. So who says this? Sherlock Holmes says this. What does he mean by indiscretion? Indiscretion means when a person, you can get this line in page number 39. So indiscretion means you can say that when a person is not worried for anything, rather one kind of ignorance. What indiscretion is the speaker referring to? The speaker wants to say that he didn't take the proper steps to collect the things from her, and that is how he ignored from the first, and that is why he was still unable to take the things from Irene Adler. What other facts are divulged by the listener at this point? The facts also were discussed at that time, that how he tried his best and still he was unable to get. And the listener, he then listened everything and then he assured him that he would give everything to him as early as possible, and he would also try. It's a very simple thing for him. Will find me at the Langham under the name of Count von Tram. Who says this to whom? The king said this to Sherlock Holmes. What is the speaker expecting the listener to do? The speaker expected the listener to get back all the things from reenactor and to give him at that place on that day. What is his real name? His real name already you can get from the text, page number 39. Here you can get the real name of the King of Bohemia. His real name is Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund von Ormstein. Why had he assumed a fake identity? So I have already explained that the king wanted to keep his image safe. As he was the king of Bohemia, he had a great prestige and honor, of course. So he didn't want to reveal any scandal in front of anyone, because it was one kind of scandal, of course, to him that he had relation with a lady, and the lady had all the proofs against him, and he was going to marry someone else, and the thing what he was afraid of, that on the day of betrothal, Irene Adler would come and place all the proofs in front of everyone, and that time she could claim also that he had not keep his relation with her. So he was so afraid of that he had to sacrifice his image and prestige, what he had secured for the long time.